if there's an issue, let me know in the stream chat. But otherwise, we're here for Clash of the Titans round 3, game number 1 between Lojza and Tim. And over to the right of the map in blue, we have got Lojza. He's playing as the Spanish.
And over to the left in the red, we do have Tim also playing as Spanish.
That's great. I'm not sure if the scene's actually switched. Ah, it has. Brilliant. Okay, that's great.
Fantastic.
Testing out Booga's new scene switcher today, so it seems like it's all working just fine, which is great news. And this map looks pretty much like Mongolia to me. It should be pretty interesting.
Yeah, I'll definitely agree to you on that one. Just looking at just the ground textures and the amount of cliffs we've got there, as well as just like wood placements, we can pretty much tell that fairly easily.
And of course, this is a restart, so if we actually look at the map, it will tell us. I actually forgot about that.
It is.
Yeah,
fantastic.
But this is the ultra-random version of Mongolia, because it's Mongolia version 4. It does seem to be a little bit more open. If you can look at the map on this, just looking at the minimap, there seems to be a little less cliff, so it seems to be more open, which is, I think, more geared towards tournaments.
Yeah, looking at the middle of the map there, extremely open area for them to be fighting there and have a little bit of a scuffle.
Yeah, certainly. And one thing to remember about this map is that it is very easy to wall up. Obviously, you have got a lot of trees around your starting town centre. And of course, with all the cliffs around as well, it does make for some quite easy walling. And, you know, with the Spanish here, they're not really likely to want to be feudal rushing. Maybe we'll see some scouts, but with such an easy wall and with Tim's reputation, perhaps not such a good idea to go for that.
Yeah, I'm just looking at Tim's map right now, and this is pretty much heaven for him, I'm thinking right now. He's got a pretty easy wall off and all this room in the back to boom up in there, plus all these little bits of gold in the back, so looking pretty good for him, honestly.
Yeah, that gold in the back there is certainly going to be very easy for him to defend and wall up quite nicely. Obviously, as you said as well at the front, it's a little bit open, but if he walls with houses and military production buildings, shouldn't have an issue at all if he goes with palisades on the side. If we have a look at Lojza, his gold as well, fairly easy to protect, maybe in reach of... maybe not, actually. I was going to say, maybe if there was some archers at the bottom of this cliff, if they had bodkin arrow done, maybe they could reach.
It looks tight to be able to call that, I don't know. Maybe if they're right on this edge piece here.
Yeah, but because we're playing as Spanish, though, so we wouldn't really see archers anyway, but perhaps conquistadors or monks or something like that.
Yeah, monks could definitely make the range, and conquistadors probably as well. Definitely a strong unit there for the Castle Age.
Yeah, I think if these players both go for sort of a wall-off and maybe more of a fast castle, we'll see conquistadors in play, which is certainly, a cool raiding unit to use. And, with such a high attack in the Castle Age, you can do a lot of damage to your opponent's walls, especially if they're palisades, and perhaps get in and do some big damage with them.
Yeah, you're right there. Like I said, just such a strong unit for the Castle Age, a massive attack on them range, plus the fact they're mounted just makes them so strong. And like you said, they can do palisade very, very quickly. So, of course, could even see people forced into stone wall-offs here.
Yeah, and of course, going for a stone wall-off, it's kind of like, well, if you're going with that stone wall-off, it means you're going to have to take some stone earlier to get your second and third TCs out. And that, of course, is such an important thing because... whilst you're gathering stone, your opponent's already got their second, third TC up, and, they're already getting ahead. So stonewalling is certainly something that can put you a little bit further behind if you're forced to do it.
You're right there. Plus, they have to take villages of other resources such as food or even wood just to be able to get that stone income coming into them, to be able to put up their extra town centers. And if they want to go straight into a castle, gonna hurt there as well.
Yeah, exactly. All that extra resource that they have to spend unnecessarily, in a sense. You can see Tim there, just putting down a house to wall off again. And as you said earlier, such an easy wall for him. 2 houses and it's done. And also kind of blocking Lojza's scout in there. Lojza taking a bit of damage from Tim's TC and now being chased down by his scout as well. And of course, having that scout available to you is such an important thing, as you can obviously get a lot of information with that.
Yeah, exactly. And at this point, if their scouts do die off, or if they do get a scout in within the wall off of their opponent, they're going to be able to tell. And at this point, I think the biggest thing is going to be whether or not they're going for harassment in the feudal age, or if they go straight to the castle age, are they going to drop a castle or town centers straight away?
Yeah, well, interesting thing here for Lojza is he's actually putting down a barracks pretty much at the 630 mark as well. So he is going to do a Dark Age rush. Obviously, at this stage... just sending right now a villager over to that goal to take it. Doesn't look like Tim's going to see that, though. And that could catch Tim off a little bit, although drushing not completely unheard of with Spanish, of course.
Yeah, Tim's scout actually getting caught between some villagers and Lojza's scout there, which of course means it did take a little bit of extra damage, which means defending from this drush going to be a little bit harder than normal, but Lojza's scout taking a bit of damage on it as well.
Yeah, they're both pretty even now. Obviously, Tim with a little bit extra health on that. And as you say, if you've not got a scout available to you, you're not going to be able to scout the drush or be able to defend it as well. And I think Lojza coming in with this drush now, it is a little bit risky because obviously Tim starting to wall up at the front. And if Tim makes the walls before Lojza gets over there, that drush going to be pretty ineffective.
Yeah, he's already walling up the left-hand side as well right now, so really going to come down to a matter of time here. The drush is out, but ooh, could be a fast wall from Tim there if it's just got a little bit left.
Well, that's the thing. Tim actually has no idea at this stage that Lois is sending over a drush right now. We can see he is building that wall, but obviously doing it much slowly, or much more slowly, as that villager building each palisade in turn. Question is he going to be able to get it walled up before Loiza gets over there? I think he will.
Ooh, he's going for a house there. I think if he sees it nice and early and just drops some houses and a bit of palisade and just fast walls it, he's going to be pretty alright. Left-hand side there, pretty much completely walled in now, starting that last piece right now.
Yeah, and that scout not going to be able to take that villager out either. And it looks like, oh, Loiza could just get in, but oh, it's so close. Oh,
Yes!
man.
Oh,
As
wow.
if that
Tim
one
just did
piece
not
of wall.
see that in time.
No, and that's it. Just as that villager was about to start hitting on that wall, those militia walked straight in, and that was a close play by Lojza there. Could potentially snipe this villager walking back to the TC, but he's going to be able to get in there a little bit, maybe harass Tim, but just looking at Tim's placement of his villagers and stuff here, Lojza is going to have a tough time doing damage with these.
Yeah, the militia have got in there, and that was remarkable timing, actually. But like you said, that wall off coming up around the town centre there, not going to make it easy for Lojza to really be able to get in there and do some damage.
Yeah, and you see this is the biggest problem right now for Lojza. These trees go all the way around to the back, and it means that he can't get around to even get to this gold pile. He has to go through the TC. And obviously for Lojza there, that's a big issue for him because his drush is effectively doing absolutely nothing right now. And this could give Tim a little bit of time to perhaps, I don't know, come back with something.
Oh, I did think he was just going to run past the town centre there and just risk it, but doubled back at the last second there and actually did lose a militia, so this is kind of going to waste right now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's resources that you kind of don't want to be having to spend unnecessarily. Usually a drush is going to be able to hurt your opponent's economy enough to actually make it worthwhile. I mean, fortunately for Lojza, he is starting to wall up back at home, so, you know, a fast castle is certainly going to be on the cards, but it's not ideal to have to spend this resource and then just not get anything out of it.
Yeah, the only thing I'm really looking at right now to help really Lojza just come out of this one right now is Tim does have 3 villagers on the farms right now going around the left-hand side. One on 7 HP, one on 8, and another on 7. So
Yeah.
could potentially run in there and try and get some snipes. Very risky, but at this point...
Yeah, I mean, he could do it. I mean, you know, the thing is right now is that these militia are not really going to be doing all that much. I think once Lojza perhaps gets feudal, his scout would have been able to get in there, perhaps snipe the villager on, you know, maybe 7 HP. But I don't think Tim would let his guard down enough for that to happen. I think he would see it and those villagers would get straight into the TC.
I agree, but there's always these little things I'm hoping to see. It's kind of like the sneaky demo.
Yeah, definitely. The sneaky demo. You know what? You would have been so happy to see the Fate versus Doubt games. The sneaky demo from both of them. It was awesome.
Oh, I actually saw the recording. So good. Just my life is just so good right now. As soon as I start talking about it, it's been happening non-stop.
It's great. Players are like listening. Oh, looks like Tim may lose a villager here. Oh, very close indeed. Getting trapped against the berry bush there. But just getting out in time, and Lojza still not able to do much at all with these militia. Tim, up to the feudal, getting that market and blacksmith up, and, you know, he's going to be able to click up to castle in just a second's time.
Yeah, he just needs a little bit more food there, and he will be on his way up. He has started taking stone as well, by the looks of things. He does have some in the bank there from that forward stone he's got there. So could potentially go for a castle there straight away, actually.
Yeah, that does seem like his plan. I mean, you know, 6-7 villagers on stone throughout the duration of the Castle Age upgrade. I mean, that's pretty much a certainty that he's going to go for that castle drop. Question is he going to put it defensively or offensively? I think knowing Tim, we probably expect that he'll put it defensively. But the thing is, we've got to bear in mind, Lojza is probably going to be doing the same, just sending villagers over to stone right now to do exactly the same thing.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And just looking at Tim's stone placement right now, he does have one within his base, but he is decided to take the forward one. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do see that castle actually come up defensively between the 2 stone piles.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you can secure that extra stone, as it is on the front, you can secure that with the castle, and then obviously go with a couple more castles after that to, perhaps to secure extra areas of your base, or even place them in a forward position. But pretty clear then that we're going to see castles coming out and conquistadors from both, I feel, at this stage.
Yeah, it really just depends on right now if they want to just try and win the game out right now or draw it out a bit longer to see what they really want to do. Because, of course, both options are there and available.
Yeah, definitely. Just for now then, just have a quick look at their ecos, because at the moment, Tim, certainly with a little bit more stone in the bank, and, although they're going to want to get that castle up pretty quickly, get some conks out, as we said earlier, able to break down those palisades so quickly, obviously getting up that second, third TC, going to be an important thing as well, and I think, you could very easily just go for a castle really high pressure and forget the TCs, or you can keep on the stone and put the TCs down as well, just to make sure your economy is nice and strong behind it.
Yeah, you can definitely do both in this situation. It looks like Lojza did actually get 2 militia onto Tim's gold there. I don't know how he managed to sneak them past the town center, but it happened.
Yeah, nice one. Perhaps it seems like there was a gap of sorts you got through between the house and the mill. But even so, I mean, this militia on such low health right now, of course, he's not going to waste resources upgrading man-at-arms. That would just be ridiculous. So I don't think he's going to be able to get that much damage. He may just prevent the villagers from gathering gold for a couple of seconds, but I really don't think it's going to be all that much.
Yeah, I tend to agree. At this point, looking at those militias and their HP, they can't take on a villager, and all they can really do is run in, just hit it, and kind of run away. And Tim really, I think, does know this, so he'll just task his villagers immediately back to gold.
Yeah, exactly. He's actually going over to the wood, and it's just a bit of a shame for Lojza that his drush was ineffective there. As you said, though, castle on the front for Tim, and conquistadors coming straight out, so pretty expected stuff right there. But Lojza going for TC first rather than getting up a castle.
Yeah, interesting call there. He could definitely afford the castle because he did put down the town center and does have 600 stone still in the bank. But he didn't have the wood count actually for more town centers there. So I'm kind of interested to see he didn't just chuck down the castle and then wait for the wood to build up and then chuck 2 down immediately. But I don't know. We'll have to see what he's got planned here.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, there's the conk from Tim at the back, going to take out those militia. Not a problem at all for him. And I think, with Tim's castle right here, he's going to keep taking plenty of stone right now, and obviously get that second, third TC up, perhaps even more castles as well. But I think, when playing Spanish, they're going to want to be getting up to the Imperial Age in a good time as well, because they really do start to thrive once they get those extra upgrades in.
Yeah, Conquistadors there can get a lot of extra upgrades on them, especially once they hit Elite. They just become such a powerful unit. You start to put on that, extra armor upgrades, bloodlines. They just become really nearly unstoppable.
Yeah, exactly. For getting a unit out, a ranged unit at that, with 16 attack, I mean, they're just so good at raiding. And I wouldn't be surprised here if Tim tries to kind of find a way into Lojza's base, perhaps aiming to take down some palisade. But Lojza's expecting it, putting some stone walls behind. And, if he stays stone walled up, he might be in a better situation, because obviously with that second TC up a little bit sooner, maybe with a third up a bit sooner, he may have a stronger economy into the later Castle Age.
Yeah, that's right. It looks like Lojza is looking for that kind of defensive play as well, just looking by the position of his castle there. Looks like it will be able to keep that entire left side there pretty well tight, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's no way Tim's going to be able to break down a palisade and get in when there's the castle there. Lojza's as well, creating some conquistadors also. And I think, this game going to be pretty drawn out, I feel. I don't think we're going to see a huge amount of action until we reach Imperial. But as I said, Tim going to be looking for a way in here and starting to work down on that house on the bottom of Lojza's base.
Exactly, and he does want to, of course, he did go for the castle first, which means he's pretty much expected to have a lower villager pop at this point. So he's really got to get in there, kill off some villagers to really make going for that castle worth it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if we look at the populations right now, Lojza's on 48, Tim's on 45, and he has more military. So Lojza, with that earlier TC there, going to have a better economy. Also getting up a monastery here to make some monks, and that's going to help his defense. But I'm a little bit concerned because Tim about to get that house down, and Lojza doesn't have too many conquistadors to defend with right here.
Yeah, he's only got the three there. Plus, he will get the one monk, so essentially going to be able to steal one from Tim there. Another town center coming up over on the right there, but these conquistadors really could just kind of run into the back if they wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. With 6 range, with the TC having 6 range as well, you know, they are able to snipe villagers on farms very easily. They're also able to deal with monks very easily, as you saw just there. That monk going down straight away. But Tim getting caught between the TCs here. Looks like he may just lose his armor. Well, no. He actually had more conquistadors than I saw, but he's going to be forced to retreat.
Yeah, with the numbers he has at the moment, he can't really push in because, of course, those are going to be reinforcing relatively quick here.
Yeah, I think so too. But, you know, with 2 conquistadors there, still just getting a good trade-off, it seems. And maybe able to pick off some more military, some more monks even, maybe some more villagers as well if he runs next to the monastery right there.
Yeah, definitely an option. It was a shame he didn't get that monk there because that definitely would have made the trip worth it because he did kill one off before, but getting that extra 100 gold would have just made it a little bit better.
Yeah, but the thing with the conquistadors here is that they take out monks so easily. I mean, monks do outrange them, yeah, but I mean, they've got such a high speed and such high attack, they can run in, snipe the monk, and the monk can't really get the conversion. So going monks versus conquistadors is a little bit risky in my opinion, as, you know, it's a lot of gold to waste if you don't actually manage to get a conversion on there.
I like to think if you can keep them behind walls, the conquistadors that is, or the monks, depending on the side you're looking at it from. Of course, I think it's a pretty good option, but when the conquistadors can kind of just run straight up and you have no way to get away, because of course we know the monk not having a very good speed,
Yeah.
it really just doesn't work.
Nice one from Lojza there, though. He did get a conversion, and Tim lost that Conquistador. Also, losing one to the TC as well as the monk got into safety. So, not bad micro from Lojza there at all. And I think really at this stage, Tim just looking to do what damage he can. Hard to say who's really coming off better or worse here, though.
Yeah, Tim has got his third town center up though, so he is in place to kind of keep up with the villager production now, because the third of Lojza, as we saw, are just going up pretty recently. So looking to be in a pretty good spot here. He does have more conquistadors out and definitely going to be catching up as far as economy goes.
Yeah, certainly, but you know, Lojza adding in more monks right now. He's really kind of set on going with the monks here. And Tim's got to be careful, you know, because I mean, if he's not paying 100% attention to his army, he can run into these guys and get converted like mad. I mean, 3 monks right there, 3 conversions would totally turn that around.
Exactly, they'd be able to kill off that other conquistador pretty immediately there and then just be able to push straight back to Tim's base.
Yeah, certainly. I think, though, Lojza at the moment really is kind of slowing down his Conquistador production. He's only just making a couple more now. But, you know, he really does need to do something about this raiding, well, the harassment from Tim here, because Tim is getting in, picking off some villagers, and he can't just let that happen, obviously.
Yeah, Tim moving in with some villagers right now as well, so it looks like he might be going for a forward castle there. Does have the resources to do it and did choose to take his stone resource villagers in. So I think that's exactly what we're going to see here.
Yeah, definitely. You know, a castle on this stone at the front, or even, well, there we go, castle on the front for Tim there. Gonna be good for him. I mean, it's gonna take away some of these farms from Lojza. Gonna be probably, I think, in range of this castle as well. So certainly a good position on that for Tim, and it's nice to see Tim getting really aggressive right here.
Yeah, he did wall off at the start and looked like he wanted to play very defensively, but I think he thought he was getting the edge with those conquistadors, which he really was, and being able to kind of just make this as good as he can with this big push, definitely a good play from him.
Yeah, I think so too. He's actually, once his castle goes up, going to be in a great position. We should have a look at how close they are to Imperial. I mean, both of them really far off right now. So, I mean, these castles not going to be going down relatively quickly at all, because no Treb's going to be coming out, no real siege on the field either.
Yeah, I don't think either player actually even has a siege workshop up at this stage, so I don't think those castles will be going down at all. They're going to be there for pretty much the long haul right now.
Yeah, and that castle, surprisingly, doesn't seem to be in range of too much. Just those villagers that are right on the edge. Both of them there, though. Oh, no, they are in range of each other, having a little bit of a castle war, but as we said, like, they're going to be up there for a long while. Obviously, those castles just having a little bit of a arrow fight, but what is an arrow going to do to a massive, you know, stone building? Nothing.
Yeah, not a lot until it somehow lights it on fire, but until then, I think we're going to be pretty okay just watching, well, not even watching, just letting that one go, because I think Tim will really just be aiming for the villagers at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a bit concerned though. I mean, if Tim does put all of his resources into pushing in here and doesn't manage to do all that much, Lojza could get up to Imperial first. It's a tough one to call. I mean, populations are really close, but Lojza has very little military in comparison. Well, they're saying that. It's all inside of his castle, so take that one back.
Yeah, like you said, I thought pretty much the same thing there, just looking at the bases, that Lojza was just way ahead in villager population, but he did have a little bit of army there stored up inside that castle. But at the moment, it still looks like Tim's got a little bit more units out right now.
Yeah, he's got a couple more cavalry archers out. Well, obviously, Conquistadors classed as cavalry archers. Only 2, though. So, I mean, it is very, very close at this stage. Lojza with a couple more in villager count at this stage. But, you know, I think Tim having the map control here, it's going to suit him quite nicely. Obviously, if you've got your opponent penned up inside their base, they're going to have less space to, you know, boom out and take resources that are surrounding their base, such as these 2 stone piles. And that, obviously, for Lojza is not an ideal situation to be in.
Yeah, Tim actually gaining the resources right now to actually be able to go up to Imperial, and he's just clicked it then. Way
yeah.
in front of... Oh,
well, no, it wasn't.
Way in front, but Lojza's already done it.
Yeah. I just watched Lojza's food and gold there. They just shot up like mad. I think he just dropped off all of his resources then. And both of them going to be up to him very, very close. I mean, there's actually really nothing in it. If you just switch over between them, there's hardly anything. So, I mean, it is, as I said, going to come down to the Imperial Age here. And Tim, with having this map control already sort of in his favor, I think it's going to be a pretty nice situation for him to be in.
Yeah, we've got a second castle coming up for Lojza right now, down over on the bottom side, but just looking at this castle war over here, it looks like we're going to see a pretty big Treb war go down here.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Treb wars can go on for quite some time, because of course you're going to aim to be taking your opponent's trebuchets out rather than the castle straight away. Well, depending on how you kind of want to play it. But I think, you know, both of them going to be getting these... Trebs out as soon as they get up to Imperial. But thing is, for Lojza right now, he is behind in castle count. Just getting up a second one at the moment inside of his walls. But obviously having those castles, being able to produce those trebuchets quickly is going to be so important.
Yeah, Tim having a lot of resources in the bank for the Imperial Age fight as well. And he's actually starting to put up some stables already. So looks like he's going to go really aggressive as soon as he hits Imperial here.
Yeah, definitely. Bloodline's coming in as well. And, you know, I don't know if he's going to go straight away with the elite, the elite Conquistador upgrade, but it looks like he's going to be aiming to go with Paladin here, putting up those stables.
Yeah, definitely could be a good option. As we know, Spanish have really good paladins, but over there at the moment, Tim just managed to take out about 4 villages with his conquistadors. Lojza taking out 4 villages with his conquistadors of Tim's. So definitely a good pick there from him. I don't think Tim was expecting those units to come out so quickly.
Yeah, and Tim right now not actually taking any stone at all, which does mean that we're not going to see another castle from him for a while. And also, this castle on the front for Tim could go down very easily, because he's not going to have much stone to repair with. And obviously, being in such a forward position, going to be tough for him to repair it anyway, with Lojza's Trebs going to be coming out.
Yeah, both players going for the Treb as soon as they've hit Imperial here, and just looking over at the stables for Tim, what's he plan on doing with these guys right now?
Well, Cavalier.
What's he got? Cavalier, obviously.
Yeah, and plate barding armor coming in straight away. A little bit late on the upgrade there. But, you know, I'm going to be curious to see what Lojza does here. He's not got any stables down, which does mean that, first of all... Oh, no, he's got a stable in the back. So perhaps he's going to have that Bloodlines upgrade done. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, Bloodlines done for Lojza, but no more stables. So it looks like he's planning on going Conquistadors only.
Yeah, he does have the +2 armor on them as well, and did actually manage to take a slaughtering over Tim's Conquistadors at the top side of his wall off there. So really good for him, especially if this is going to come down to a big Conquistador fight. And I think, like you said, Tim will definitely be going into Paladins here, but Conquistador's going to have that big range advantage here. Yeah,
exactly, but the thing with Conquistadors, obviously, a lot harder to mass, because obviously they are only being created from castles. And Lojza, with only 2 castles right now, he doesn't have a lot of military production, which is going to give Tim quite a nice opportunity to really get ahead in terms of military production.
Yeah, the trade-off right now can be really interesting to see who actually reaps the benefits of their, well, tactic, I guess.
Yeah, and there we go. Tim's castle going to go down on the front. So obviously Lojza going to be able to defend quite easily from that one. Move his Trebs forwards, go for the trebuchets of Tim right there. Even perhaps moving his Conquistadors out to do that. Tim, though, has got Cavalier done. And maybe we're going to see Paladin from him very shortly.
Yeah, it looks like those Conquistadors moving in to take out those Trebs really quickly, and if Tim doesn't move on this quickly, that's going to be a lot of resources lost. As we know, Trebuchet's extremely expensive units.
Yeah, exactly. 200 wood, 200 gold. I mean, that's, what, 600 gold right there. It's a huge amount to just lose for nothing. They may just get this castle down, though. It's looking so close. Lojza doing everything he can to repair this castle. Looks like it's going to survive. So close. And I think it will. I think it will, yeah. Oh,
That's a lot of trebuchets for Lojza there, actually. He's going to really be able to push with them if he chooses to.
well,
Or,
that's
well,
the
if he can in this situation.
exactly. I mean, this is the big issue for him. His military production is really quite low at the moment. He's obviously got that elite conquistador upgrade done right now. They are packing an absolute punch. But you've got to remember, for Lojza right here, he's got very little military production, and he needs to protect these trebuchets if he wants to make a push out.
Yeah, Tim already going up with about 9 stables there in the middle of the map, so he's
Yeah.
really ready to just outmass and just really flood into Lojza's base and just call it a game.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, for Tim right here, with this map control that he had throughout the Castle Age, he's got the room to do this. Lojza very confined within his walls, and you know, he can't really push out without being, you know, pressured by Tim. So he's going to struggle to get these military production buildings up.
Yeah, I don't even know where he could put down another castle right now if he could afford it easily.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is as well, I mean, he's been struggling to take that stone as well because he did, again, lose that map control. It seems right now that he's just going to, you know, hold up in this choke point here and try and do what damage he can to Tim's Cavalier, which seems to be working alright for him.
Yeah, he's actually put up some barracks as well there and is going for some spears, upgraded to pikes just there. No doubt will be going all the way up eventually once he has the resources. As we know, Spanish do have a complete tech tree when it comes to trash.
Yeah, exactly. You know, Spanish really kind of got a long longevity. Obviously, you know, if you're playing Turks and you run out of gold, well, you're pretty stuffed. But if you're playing a Spanish, you can go for so long just spamming that trash, as you say.
Yeah, and it looks like that's going to be the thing here right now. It looks like he will go Conquistadors backed up by Trebs and just a meat shield of pikes in the front if he can get there right now. That's the thing.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Done actually as well.
Yeah, it does seem like that as well. No upgrades on them just yet, though. And Tim starting to really mass up these Cavalier right now. I'm waiting to see when that Paladin upgrade's going to come in. And Lojza.
As soon as that comes in,
yeah.
Naturally, of course, going to see just probably a big push from him immediately once that happens.
Yeah, I think so too. And you know, Lojza though, still keeping this castle up. And you know, he's spent so much resources repairing this castle. He's not been able to get up another castle in the meantime. So a little bit worrying for Lojza here with 3 barracks and 2 castles. Not really a great amount of military production.
Yeah, Tim actually about to lose another Treb there as soon as one of these does actually hit it. And still missing, but still that's a lot of resources lost for Tim there.
I think that's maybe, you know, 3, 4, 5 or 6 trebuchets. That is a lot of gold. You're looking at, you know, over 1,000 gold right there with another one on the way out. And Lojza now starting to push out with some conquistadors. He's actually got a score lead as well. So he really needs to make this push work.
Yeah, exactly. After taking out those trebuchets, he has really given himself a point really to push out here. But as soon as he gets out of that choke point, those Cavalier do come in and can pretty much surround these Conquistadors.
Yeah, exactly. You know, they're going to be able to get around them. And if they do get surrounded, they're going to be taking big losses. But Lojza are doing really nice things here. Like, you know, pushing forwards, luring the Cavalier in, then coming back to his choke point to pick them off where he can. So, really good stuff for him. But you know what? Tim's really slowing down this Cavalier production. His gold is getting incredibly low right now.
Yeah, well, like we said, he lost a lot of trebuchets there, and he's still trying to produce more, and the more trebuchets he loses, the better this is going to go for Lojza right now, because of course, that's really going to stunt his Cavalier production.
Yeah, definitely, and I think this kind of front here, Tim's taking a lot of losses where really, if he was fighting out in the open, he would have such a huge advantage. But you know, as you said, losing so many resources as these trebuchets just keep going down, and yeah, Tim took a TC out there, but I mean, he's losing so much in the process of doing it.
Yeah, exactly. Even after all that, that castle of Lojza was still standing. It may have cost resources to put up, well, to keep it up and going, but the fact is it's still there, and it's denying Tim to be able to get into there and really push in like he wanted to.
Yeah, precisely. You know, the only downside right now for Lojza, all this gold on the map that Tim is just having free control over. If you have a look down to the bottom of the map, he's taking that, and Lojza's got very little gold left right now. In fact, I don't think he has any left, which is a huge issue for him, because obviously having to switch to trash is not an ideal situation to be in.
Especially versus strong units like the ones he's going up as. But like you said, Tim just jumping on every resource on the map now. I can only actually see 1 gold right next to Lojza, which is the only resource on the map right now that Tim hasn't jumped on.
Exactly, and that's what I was saying earlier about the Castle Age map control. It does mean that Tim has got the, you know, he's in the position where he can take these extra resources with very little to stop him. Lojza, though, does have a lot of gold in the bank, so he's going to be okay for now. He just needs to keep these trebuchets safe and start pushing out across the map.
Yeah, if he can stay as efficient as he's been most of this game so far, going to be in a really good spot. But as soon as his resources start to go down, Tim going to have so much in the bank from all of these little extra places. I mean, he's lost a lot, but he has more than enough to be able to be just constantly replacing it.
Yeah, his income is a lot higher, and you know, at the moment as well, putting up these stone walls to just secure these gold spots even more. Even going with the bombard tower upgrade right there. Nice stuff from him, which I do think is a little bit of a waste, to be fair, as well. I mean, with Lojza having so many trebs out right now, though, those bombard towers can go down pretty quickly.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be more of a precautionary thing for the Conks and the Halberdier pushing in, but really, if they're pushing in, the Trebs are going to be pretty safe behind them, so you would think that they should be able to take out the Bombard cannons, well, Bombard towers, pretty easily.
Yeah, you'd think so. I think, though, you know, at this stage, that amount of Halberdier, it's going to be a little bit tough for Lojza. If Tim starts to master Conquistadors, he's missing the Elite Conquistador upgrade. But obviously the Conquistadors here going to be able to take those Halbs out very easily indeed. But Tim has to micro nicely. He has to be very careful. At the moment, sending those Cavalier against the Halberdier like that, certainly not good. And this battle could determine a hell of a lot for the outcome of this game.
Yeah, Lojza doing really well here right now. Those
Oh,
Halberdier
man.
actually even being able to get up in on the Conquistadors, so...
Yeah, look at that.
Wow.
Tim's Cavalier just melting away right there, and Lojza gonna have the numbers, it seems. Loads of Conquistadors to back this up. Trebuchet is still going as well, and Tim just actually lost way more than he needed to right there.
He lost his castle there as well, so that's going to stunt his Conquistador production as well. Plus, I have no doubt it's going to lose all these fort stables as well.
Exactly, I mean, this is going down so quickly right now. Tim putting up bombard towers in defense so quickly, but these 4 Trebs from Lojza, they've been here the entire game pretty much since he reached Imperial. Going to be able to deal with the bombard towers pretty easily indeed.
Yeah, I'm just looking at Tim's map right now, trying to figure out where he's going to be able to put more military production buildings, straight down to the bottom of where he's already got them, where they're going up. And he's going complete archery range right now.
Yeah, it seems like he's just going to be going for those massed up skirmishes. Almost, I forgot what I was going to say there. Skirmishes, of course, a reasonable choice, actually. Obviously, they have an attack bonus against Halberdier. They're going to be able to deal with the Conquistadors a little bit easier. But going from nothing at this stage, it's going to be pretty tough for him.
Yeah, Siege Workshop even coming up on the front right now for Lojza, so even if he does go full skirms, going to be able to get out some Siege to be able to deal with that quite easily as well.
Exactly.
Really play well, just played so well right now.
Exactly, you know, considering he had no map control in the Castle Age, being able to just push out like this and, you know, do so much damage to Tim, who should have had the advantage with all those extra gold spots. I don't know, I mean, Tim has still got a lot of resources in the bank, but Lojza has so much more population at this stage. I'm a little bit concerned that Tim might not be able to stop this push.
Yeah, you're right. Of course, he has the resources there, but he needs to convert it into units just as quick as possible right now. Looks like he is going for skirms and hand cannons. Probably a good option there, but can he get the masses in time?
Exactly, that's the problem. And we can see that capped ram upgrade coming in for Lojza right now. Not enough food to research the siege ram, but also making a little bit of a move at the bottom. He's got those outposts there. He can see where Tim is, and he's seen that he's walled him out. So Lojza very well aware that Tim is taking the extra gold on the map, and now he just needs to kind of push in and make sure these trebuchets stay safe.
Yeah, Tim actually losing his church there on the front, and, well, monastery, and going to lose those 4 relics that he had in there, so that's really going to hurt the amount of gold he has, especially if Lojza manages to grab them.
Oh yeah, I see that, right. I didn't actually realize he had all 4 relics, but you know, as we said again, map control gives you the relics as well. But obviously, Tim losing that now, that's a lot of gold income that Lojza could quite easily snipe right here. And looking at the gold amounts, Lojza's actually a little bit further and population capped.
Yeah, like we said, he's just been so efficient the entire game. He's only really losing units when he needs to, and because of that, he doesn't need to replace them as often, which pretty much leads us to where we are with having so much resource in the bank.
Yeah, I'm going to be really interested, though, to see how Tim deals with the conks here. I mean, he's got, as you said, a mix of elite skirmisher and hand cannons. It's a really strong combination. Obviously, the skirmisher is going to be great against the conks. They've just, I don't know. I don't know if Lojza is going to be able to deal with that, though.
I feel like he's got enough of a mass there that he should be able to, especially if he does decide to start picking him off with trebuchets behind as well. Tim actually moving into light cavalry there as well.
Yeah, obviously going for all of that trash right there. Let's see how this one goes, though. Looks like Lojza's going to move in. And obviously, if he can take out the hand cannoneer and the skirmishers, that's a lot of gold, again, lost for Tim right there. Looks like he's actually doing pretty well.
Yeah, these Conquistadors at the moment pretty much being fully upgraded. They do have the 90 HP on them and 2+4 pierce, so even against skirmishes, they do a lot of damage, and really, they take pretty minimal when you look at how much HP they have.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, they pretty much made short work again of Tim's army. And right now, Tim making a dash for those trebs right there, but the Halberdier able to defend for now. And once again, Tim put back on the back foot with very little army at all. Lojza just managing to push forwards and keep those Conquistadors massed up.
Yeah, even got the siege rams coming forward for Lojza right now, straight into Tim's base, and once Lojza gets into that economy, especially if it's with conks, this game's pretty much over.
Well, this is the thing right now. Tim has made so many hand cannons and skirms. How is he going to stop these rams? He's got like 1 light cavalry, 2 light cavalry on the map right now, and these siege rams just going to walk straight in there. And you know, bombard towers can go down pretty damn quickly when you've got that many rams started battering at the bottom of them.
Yeah, just patrol those rams through the base and just call it a game.
Exactly, you know, these are just going to roll through here. Tim has got nothing to stop it. And you know, Lojza could pretty much just ignore this army and just send his conks straight in there.
He really could actually, because there's not really a lot that Tim's going to be able to do with it. As we know, skirmish is not exactly the best versus buildings in this point.
Exactly.
So, oh, actually stealing all those relics there as well right now.
Nice one. Lojza's certainly picking up on that and going to be putting them straight into that monastery for that extra gold. Tim, very low on gold and food right now. Lojza also very low on gold, but more food and wood in the bank. So a little bit concerned for Tim right here as he loses a hell of a big chunk of his base.
He is pushing out with those skirmishes and managed to take out a few villages there. But like I said, when they come up to that castle, not really a lot they're going to be able to do. Light cavalry moving in as well, but those halberdiers going to make pretty quick work of them.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, Tim did a good thing here, though, sending those light cavs after the siege rams. But look how many cogs Lojza has on the map. He is able to just flatten pretty much everything. I mean, they could probably take out the TC pretty quickly as well if they focused it.
Yeah, at this point, they're pretty much just standing under the town center in the bombard cannons, and really, he's just got the masses there to be able to do that and not really care that much.
Yeah, exactly. You know, that siege ram may just go down. Bombard tower, oh, so close. But, you know, all of this defense for Tim, it's costing him a lot of stone and, you know, gold as well, and it's not an ideal situation to be in.
Yeah, the most thing here is he's lost the ability to be on all these farms at the moment, lost that lumber at the front as well, so even resource-wise, this has really hurt him as the economy.
Yeah, it's starting to hurt quite a lot. I'm just curious to see what Tim's doing down at the bottom. So many stables and archery ranges from him. And, you know, he's still on those gold piles as well, which are just slowly starting to get depleted right now.
Yeah, and really, at the moment, like we said, if Lojza just keeps this efficiency up and just keeps on killing and killing and killing, Tim's not going to have anything to be able to push back with.
Yeah, I'm a little bit concerned, though, for Lojza with these skirms. I mean, they are starting to do quite a bit of damage to Lojza's conks right now. And, of course, with fighting under the bombard towers as well, they do flatten these units very quickly, very easily. So, you know, Tim just going pure trash, he can kind of afford it. Lojza really needs to get a bit more food income going, make sure his economy's nice back at home, and keep spamming those light calves and, you know, the skirmishes and halberdier at this stage.
Yeah, it looks like he is really starting to go into light cavalry a lot more here, as well as the siege round, which is, like you said, it's going to really do a lot when it comes up against skirmishes and hand cannoneers. But really, those light cavalry being able to pretty much shred everything under the bombard towers there, and once those rams come in, can make pretty short work of it.
Yeah, Trebuchet's behind this as well, just to help out a little bit. And of course, if Lojza does focus on going with those light cabs right now, we can probably expect these elite skirmishes from Tim are going to be made pretty short work of as well. Of course, Tim not going to give it up just yet. He is going to hang in there. I mean, you know, he's still doing quite a lot of damage to Lojza here, and both of them are starting to drop quite low in population.
Yeah, Lojza does actually have a few scouts of Tim in his base right now, so he's going to have to deal with that as well, especially with all his military on the front now. Not going to be the easiest, so could see a little bit of an economy upset there.
A little bit, but I still think that this push from Lojza on the front is doing so much damage to Tim. He's losing so many villages, and you know, right now, no more bombard towers behind these, and these TCs could go down pretty quickly, as Tim really hasn't got anything there to stop him.
Yeah, just looking at the main economy of Tim right now, he's got 3 siege rams there, a bunch of conks, a few light cavalry, just pretty much doing whatever they want. And then we've got Lojza even having extra units over at Tim's military production area to stop any units coming in to try and save the economy.
Yeah, precisely. I noticed Lojza has had quite a few idle units in the center of the map near that castle, but I mean, really, the main push that he's doing right now is right into Tim's base, and Tim, with all those villagers under the TC, gonna die so quickly to the conks as well. It's not looking good for him at this stage. I mean, the score says it all, really.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the map right now, trying to figure out if Tim has some secret economy somewhere or something he's going to be able to fall back on. But no.
Well, he is starting to build up down at the bottom. He's certainly not giving up yet. Reseeding farms down here with a new TC. But having that much of your eco just flattened so quickly is kind of worrying. Looks like we've lost Turkman right there. Seems like the core just dropped. Maybe he will come back into the call in a second. We'll wait and see. Lojza, though, just going to keep the pressure on right now. A good 48-50 population ahead of Tim. And I don't know, Tim's doing everything he can to keep it in here. And he's not going to give it up anytime soon. Still no barbecue for now. And Tim still putting up these bombard towers as well. He's got bombard towers surrounding Lojza's base right here, trying to just pen him into the corner as much as he can. And this is one hell of a messy game. Lojza's able to pick off a lot of villagers here, though. There's very little to stop him, and Tim still putting up bombard towers in defense. I don't think he can afford any more, though. His stone income is very low, and both these guys getting very low on pretty much everything at this stage. Tim running out of food, obviously, as all these farms have been kind of just destroyed at this stage. Man, such a long game, and Lojza, of course, not willing well, Tim, of course, not willing to give it up. But Lojza just keeping the pressure on. Hand cannoneers from Tim here, going to get cut down pretty easily by these light calves. And man, this is one hell of a messy game. It's not very often you see games this messy, but I think, you know, Lojza's got to feel pretty confident here. He's got to feel like he's going to be able to, if he keeps the pressure on, keep this game up. Oh man, it's really hard as well. Once you get to this stage of the game, it is really difficult to keep your APM high and make sure your economy is still efficient. These traps from Lojza as well. The entire game they've pretty much been here, doing so much work on Tim's economy right now. I don't know. Tim back here though, still building up again with more villagers, another TC, more farms, etc. And he's not giving it up. But population 80 for Tim, 154 for Lojza. He's almost double right now. And that is no small amount of population to be ahead by. Obviously his economy pretty much untouched, starting to run out of lumber, but I mean he's got this at the front here. And Lojza just chasing down these villagers as they run. I'm kind of thinking, you know, Tim at this stage, he's really not willing to lose this, but it could happen, you know. He could say GG any moment now, as he still scrambles to put up these bombard towers in defense. There's the GG, and Tim loses the first game. Lojza takes it, and that was really well played by him. Obviously, in such a bad position in that castle age, being penned inside of his base, but Tim losing it after Lojza just played it so efficiently with these conquistadors, able to do so much damage with them and just keep the pressure on and keep Tim just on the back foot the entire game. Really nicely played by him, and you know, we could actually see the upset we were expecting here, as game 2 is going to be coming up in just a moment, so don't go anywhere, and I'll try and get barbecue back into the call.